Hello everyone, and today I'll be just playing some 5-minute Blitz games on chess.com. So with that, let's begin and hopefully win some games. If not, that's okay. So, what will we do here? I'll do e4. Then they're doing that. So she just needs to defend the pawn whenever her opponent does that. They're threatening checkmate right now. I could block this way. I think I'm gonna block this way. This attacks queen. They're now attacking again, so I'll do this for now. It protects this sensitive point because obviously the queen and bishop are aiming to get at f7. We'll Fianchetto this bishop. Okay, there we go. So we got the problem of having. We could develop the bishop this way. I think that's what we'll do. We'll do that. This bishop's probably heading right here, so we need to defend that sensitive point. This pawn is now pinned. We'll just castle, but this also makes the pin worse. So we'll just try to get that bishop knocked out. So that, okay, so they decided to trade, which I think puts me at an advantage, to be honest. So this is an opposite side castle. If you watch Ben Feingold, then you know the rule is always play king b1 or b8. Not the same thing, but same thing nonetheless. We don't have to worry about any tactics of removing the defender because this pawn is sufficiently defended. Okay, so now we have the bishop pair. He's got the knights. Let's see here. What's he trying to do? Could go like that, and I think I have the support, but I'm going to put my bishop on a square where it will be defended and not risk it of being harassed. This attacks the knight. It also will open up my bishop's eyes to a very nice diagonal here, which is very exciting. Though I could always trade. And then I'd have open d file for my rook. So they move their queen out the way. That means they want to preserve it, but I still have chances of further attack. But that also, now he can be winning a pawn because he takes here and then, well, okay. So he decided to put pressure back on that point. He didn't see that he had the necessary attack force, so I will be moving here. Now I can't move there, but this point is further defended. I could move here. This looks a little risky, but I think I'll prepare it. Prepare to go there by going there first. Let's see what tricks exist. So if I go here, never mind. So could have a little trick for him. He has to take the queen, otherwise. But do I want to give up? This is my good bishop, but oh man, I didn't mean to. Well, that's okay. He took the wrong way. Took the way that fell for a trap that wasn't really a trap because he could take his queen. But I mean, if it works, I'm not going to complain. So it's a bad idea to take first because whenever he takes, I want to have complete control of the d file, and for the time being he can't challenge it because his queen is not supporting the d1 square. So if he trades, it's just better for black. Okay, so he decides to move there, but that just means I can take here. Then I can take that pawn, I believe. And again, I still have complete control of the d-file because there's nothing supporting the square. So if this rook moves, oh man, why can't I do the arrows? If this rook moves here, it's just bad for that. So they're preparing it, but I can move my rook here and still, if his rook were to go to that square, it's just, I'm completely dominating him. I am okay with the trade because this bad bishop will soon be a very good bishop, and I get to move my rook to the second rank, which is really good because my rook's good, his is not, which is always a good thing for me. It's not a good thing for him. So he decides to move there. I'll fix his pawns onto dark squares, and this will be really good for my dark square bishop. I can take there, it'll lessen my rook activity, but it'll also completely dominate in the end his structure. He's got to defend this pawn. So now I just won the rook because with that check there was a discovery, and this discovery was very nice. And everything nice. So in Bullet, he probably would still have a chance, but in Blitz, like, this is just a completely won game. He probably should resign, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, he resigned. Okay, so one more game, and then we'll finish it, and yeah. I think the highest I've ever gotten on chess.com is around 11 or 1200, but I've recently been losing a lot of games, so sadly, it's not going to be the case. They're playing the Sicilian, which is very cool considering that's what I've been playing a lot recently, so it's kind of nice. I'm going to play the open Sicilian. So, they were attacking there, they were trying to force a trade or see what my plans were for the knight. I decided to move it. Let's see. Could do a pin here. This knight can move. This pawn's obviously unguarded for the time being, but that didn't really matter because if he moved his knight, then I would take his queen, and that would be better for me. Okay, so let's just further increase the pressure, get my queen out. If I want an aggressive game, I probably should castle long ways, which is queenside. Let's see, where's my opponent from? The United Arab Emirates. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but very interesting. Very interesting stuff. So I feel like I should go here, but also I think it's just better to cover our base points, make sure that pawn's sufficiently defended. The one disadvantage being, obviously, if I, well, right now I shouldn't castle. It's a good thing I didn't castle, because then it would be very nasty. But so what I'm going to do is, this queen is here, this knight is defending that, so now there's a tactic of removing the defender, but he decided to help me out and remove the defender for me, so that's, I mean, I appreciate it. Because even now with what he's doing, I'm still going to be up a piece, even though he was putting pressure on the bishop, so that's a trade that I should be very happy with. The disadvantage is now I can't castle long ways even if I want to, because this bishop controls where the king would land, so... Wait, what? I can castle this way? No, okay. I didn't think so, but it was like showing up as an option. So I'll castle king side. This is a little less aggressive, which is really the only bad thing, really, that I see about it. I could get my queen trapped here, so I gotta be a little careful. But I still have these retreats. Taking the pawn might be a little too greedy, but I think I could manage to get away with it. Okay, he's moving there. So the plan for him, I guess, is just getting his queen here, putting pressure there, and then checkmating me. Which I'd rather him not, so I'm gonna just ask him the simple question, what is she gonna do with that bishop? He does a very clever tactic, which is taking advantage of the pin. I'm gonna take the pawn because I don't think there's significant danger here. It's probably a good idea to move my king up, but I don't want to pre-move anything while my queen is susceptible for attack. One thing I guess you could do is here, and then he doesn't really have anything, especially considering I didn't castle queenside, because it's not opening up files against my queen. Yes, that's okay, that's what I predicted. But my knight's successfully blockades this sensitive b2 pawn. He's going to further attack queen, which is a little annoying, but nothing I can't handle. Now if he moves the rook here, I of course can take on d6, so there's not really a threat here, because if he moves that rook, I will, well, I won't take on d6, because then I lose that. Well, what do I do if he goes? I go to here, or I could always blockade, but actually there's not a problem because, okay, fine, I'll play another game since he just resigned. Honestly, he was only down a piece and a pawn. I mean, he should have played on, but I understand how difficult that position is, being down a piece, but it's always better not to resign, so next game. I was expecting these 5 minutes games to be more like 10 minutes, but okay. So do e4 again. Just gotta play a mix of everything. I know my cousin plays a lot of e3, which is bad. Don't play e3, guys. It'll work against some players, but I mean, once they figure out your system, it's going to be harder to beat them. I mean, I sometimes play e3, but I mean, mostly as a joke, you know. I think the saying goes, if you're playing e3, first move for next move should just be to resign. Okay, so I castle, he castles. So what am I going to do here? I think we just need to open up our other bishop's eyes. We want to get this bishop onto this very nice diagonal right here. He's kind of forcing my hand, trying to get me to trade. Of course, I'm going to take here. Because he was trying to remove the defender of that bishop. He's going to go there, so got a very interesting line forming where I get to preserve my bishop. He gets to take my knight, so already imbalances in the position, and I think this is going to be a very interesting game, hopefully. Now, of course, I gotta be mindful because this bishop is unguarded, so if he takes something here, then I need to trade before reacting to his threat, so that's an important thing to note relating to the position. Speaking of that, it's pretty much close at the moment, but I now have the B file for my rook if I want it, which is the only open file on the board, and I can get control of it way before black can do anything about it, which is very good. Also now with his queen, it's slightly misplaced. I can now redevelop my bishop to another diagonal, which this diagonal is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I also want this file to be open, and that's just a good way to do it, I think. Because now his queen's under attack, and he'll probably see that and move the queen. But now I have multiple ways of getting this piece into the game. Okay, so he's going to move there. One thing important to note is that my rook is unguarded, so no nasty discoveries I can do with the bishop at the moment, but now I can. So, for example, if his queen just stays here, then I can take that pawn, and he cannot recapture without losing his queen, which, I mean, I'd be very happy with that trade. Just to put it mildly. However, due to my actions, I have the open B file, while he'll probably control the C file. Okay, so he's making it so I can't really do much with that, so that's slightly disappointing. This will just take, and no problems for black. I see the base points are covered. I am left with my good bishop, though his bishop is also excellent, and I probably will end up trying to trade it because his bishop is just a monster bishop. Now, obviously, he's defending against this point, so the natural thing is to increase the pressure and make his position hopefully as passive as possible. Oops, so that was a blunder. His bishop was attacking my rook, and I did not see that, but so I'll just get out of the way because I shouldn't have done that, and honestly, I should have paid for that far more than I did, but I'm thankful that I didn't. All at the same time, nonetheless, gotta fix that error. So I guess I'm making a bold claim that the play is happening on the queen side, while he ignores me and tries to get his play onto the king side, which is good as it's really dynamic. I gotta be careful with a few things because my king is on the king side, so even if I attack his queen side, it's going to be a little while before that gets into any serious mating territories. Now, I do have a nasty pawn that I have to deal with on, let's see, what is it? F3, which is good because it stops me from breaking the rule never play F3. But at the same time, I mean, if the queen was somehow able to weasel its way in here, it would be checkmate. So I could try to run to the queen side for comfort, but as that's where all my pieces are. But I don't think that's a good idea right now. Okay, so what I think my plan is going to be is I want to... Is it possible to stop mate? Yes. Well, no. So the problem is... Let's see. What can I do here? She says you should really analyze these positions carefully, otherwise you might end up looking like a doofus because it was equal and now we're just terribly losing. So the problem is, really, no matter what I do, let's see. That's the threat, and I can't really do anything to protect that square. Let's see any checks. If the king was on a dark square, maybe I could do something to preserve the game for a while. But I guess that's irony. I'll give him the checkmate. Let's see. This is the only thing I can do, and if he takes, then, well, I preserve the right to continue. But no, he went by checkmate. He saw it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the game. So it's a lot of fun recording it, and I hope that you will have an excellent rest of your day. Anyway, this has been Thatmagnetman playing chess. I hope you enjoyed, maybe even learned a thing or two. Anyway, till next time. And I will continue wearing this scarf. It's spring. Good night, everyone. Or good morning. For me, it's morning. I don't know. Whatever time you're watching the video.